Hello, 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 hello. సో ల్యాప్టాప్ రీస్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. నార్మల్ తీసేసినా సరే తీసుకోవడం తీసుకుంటాం. హలో, గైస్ కెన్ యూ హియర్ మీ నౌ? గైస్ కెన్ యూ హియర్ మీ నౌ? అది తీసేస్తే ఈజ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ ఆర్ ఆర్ యూ గెటింగ్ ఎనీ డిస్టర్బెన్స్? Is it clear or are you getting any disturbance, guys? Guys, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Hello. So it is audible now, right? So it is audible now. So is it clear, or else, I mean, are you getting any disturbance or something like that? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. So thanks. Sorry for your inconvenience. So there is small issue with the mic, so we got fixed it. Okay. So from today, the sessions are locked. Okay. So there won't be mostly any new guys adding to this batch. Mostly we'll go with this. Okay. The first thing, whenever before I start class, so like I just want to tell you one thing. So we'll be creating a Telegram channel. Okay. Whoever part of this particular batch will be added to the Telegram group. Will be added to the Telegram group. And also there will be a Google Classroom will be created. Mostly 1 or 2 days delay. So you'll be getting your running notes as well into the Google Classroom. Okay. And always this session should be always this tip. Doesn't matter whenever I ask something, it can be a correct or it can be wrong. So just give your answer. Okay. Interact with me. It really doesn't matter whether the answer is correct or not. So the only point is if it is wrong, I'll correct you. And whatever the question in your mind, please ask the question. Even it can be a small question or it can be a big question, it doesn't matter. Sometimes whenever you ask, the question might wrong. In that cases, I'll correct the question. Okay, because since you are beginning to the cloud platform, you might ask irrelevant questions, but no problem. Okay, whatever in your mind, always ask me. And whenever I'm completing 1 week or 2 weeks or anything, if you have any issue with that, like, if I'm covering little speed, okay, if you want me to repeat the concept, just message me. Okay, so 100% I'll be taking to it. There is nothing wrong in it. Okay, the final goal is you all should understand what I'm explaining. So that is only my goal, and that should be your goal as well. So here there is no hierarchy, like I'm a trainer or you're a student. Okay, always reach out to me in the Telegram or somewhere. If you have anything, like if you want me to repeat the concept again, or if you want me to show the practical again, just bring it to my notice. Because if you are not bringing it to my notice, even I cannot understand, right, whether you are getting my point or not. The only request from my end is, whenever you listen to it, if required, we can also add another session as well, or else we can just discuss it in whatever the sessions that we have. Always bring it to my notice, even it is a small or even it is a big, it doesn't matter. Okay, so feel free, don't hesitate to ask anything. Feel free to reach out to me. So clear all your doubts. I mean, be comfortable in the class. You should be like, talk whatever you want politely, like any question or anything. So I'm here to take it. Okay, clear. Hope you are all good, right? Great. So in previous classes, we discussed about very basic concepts, like what is cloud platform. So we discussed very basics, like what is, we discussed like what is cloud, and what is AWS, and what is network, what is IP address, and what is public IP, private IP, what is server, and creating of AWS account, creating of AWS account, and we logged into the AWS account. So any doubts from this? Any questions from this? So do you have any doubt in these topics, whatever we discussed till date? So people from online as well, just put it in the chat box if you have anything. I'll repeat that again, because from today we will be entering into the cloud part, right? So if you have any question in any particular topic, so people from online, can you just type yes or no? If you're good with that, just type yes. If you have any doubt in that, just put the topic onto the chat box. Clear? So people from online, I'm expecting some messages from you. Yes or no? Is it audible, guys? Sayed, Srinivas, Lakshmi. Okay, great. So let me recap what we discussed in the previous sessions, and we will enter into the new topic. Okay. So beginning our classes, we started with understanding about what is cloud platform. And we all know that instead of we maintaining the infrastructure, service provider will maintain the infrastructure. So that is what one of the statement that we learned about cloud. And this one is the service provider will maintain the infrastructure. Oh, and another statement what we learn is pay as you go model. So pay as you go model means nothing but how much we use, we will pay for it. How much we use, we will pay for it. For example, we discussed about an, Google Drive example. In Google Drive, how much we store the data, we will pay for it. If you're going to store 100 GB of data, you will be paying for 100 GB. If you are storing 30 GB of data, you will be paying for 30 GB. Even in cloud also, depends on the service, how much you use, you will be paying for it. So that is called pay as you go model. And now you are all very good with understanding about what we were learning for next couple of months. We were learning cloud platform, and in cloud platform, first we were learning AWS, people who enrolled for AWS, and if people enroll for Azure as well, once after completing AWS, we will be moving to the Azure. Initially, primarily, we will focus with only AWS. Okay, don't get confused. We will focus with only AWS. So coming to the network part, what is the network? So I also explained about network. Network is something which you create place on your own to put your servers. I told you two silly examples like house one, house two. So house one, house two. And if the persons are staying in this house, and if the person is staying in this house, this person will have a professional name and nickname, and this person will have a professional name and nickname. Whenever these two guys wants to communicate with each other, I said that they communicate with the professional name. And if there is another person here, if they want to communicate each other, they will communicate with the nickname. It means house is nothing but a network. House is nothing but a network. Person is nothing but a server. Professional name is nothing but a public IP. Nickname is nothing but a private IP. So as I said that initially, if someone asks you about what is a network, so you can answer a simple statement that network is a place, is an isolated place where you will place your servers. For example, we required home to stay. Similarly, server required network to stay. We cannot stay on the roads. We cannot sleep on the footpaths, right? We have to be secure. We have to be secure so that we were staying inside the house. Even our server also should require secure. We cannot put it outside like everyone can do it anything whatever they want. We want to be, our server should be secure so that we will place our server inside network. And if someone asks you about what is a server, as I said, server is nothing but a machine. Server is nothing but a machine. I told you one of the example, right? Whenever there is a bottle, if you fill the bottle with water, you will call it as water bottle. If you fill the bottle with a drink, you will call it as a drink bottle. Similarly, when there is a machine, when there is a machine, if you hosted application on it, you will call it as application server. When there is a machine, if you hosted database on this, you will call it as database server. That's it. There is no rocket science in this. Very simple. Okay. So part of AWS, we will create a network in AWS. We will create a server in AWS. and we will hand over it to the application developer. He will develop the application. Are you good? Clear? So you're good with what is a network, what is an IP address, what is a server. And we all created our AWS accounts. So make sure you should have your AWS account to practice, or else we will face difficulty. So people who have issues with AWS account, sure Sayed, I'll explain it. No problem. So we all created an AWS accounts, and inside the AWS accounts also, we discussed about regions. Did you remember about regions? For example, if I wanted to start a product, if I wanted to start a product, if I wanted to launch the product, let's say if I started a product like costumes, like any shirts, pants, or whatever it may be. Initially, I started my business in US. I supposed to have some warehouse, like manufacturing center there, and I'll be manufacturing there, and I'll be distributing to the all stores which is in US. Later on, I wanted to start in India as well. Will I always create a product in US and export it to the US? Sorry, create a product in US and export it to the India, or else will I start a manufacturing unit in India itself? We all start a manufacturing unit in India itself. Similarly, when cloud enters into the market and Amazon launches AWS, when we say that instead of creating our infrastructure, we were maintaining, someone else is maintaining the infrastructure and we were using it. So I'm maintaining 10 computers and you're connecting to the 10 computers from your house. Do you think maintaining the 10 computers in India and you will be accessing it, or else maintaining the 10 computers in US and you want to access it? You wanted to make sure all your computers which you're accessing should be in India. You can't always access to the US servers which you placed it in US, right? It means whenever we create infrastructure virtually, that has to be stored physically at somewhere. That physical location should be India all the time, not US all the time. Clear? So that is the reason AWS launches regions in each and every country. AWS launches regions. What is the nearest region that we have in India? Mumbai region. What is the other region we are supposed to have? Hyderabad. But as of now, we were using only, we are going with Mumbai region. You also make sure whenever you logged in into your AWS account, make sure select Mumbai region and start using AWS account every day. The habit that you should have is whenever you log into your AWS account, you have to check top right side whether you are in Mumbai region or not. Because as I said, many of the services in AWS are region specific. If you create few resources in Mumbai region, by mistake, if you selected other region on top right, you might not see these resources which you created. And you will be creating the resources in other region. And tomorrow again, if you come to the Mumbai region, you realize that there are resources here. And you will forget the resources which you created in other region. It means you will forget to delete. Understood? Whenever you logged into a particular region, only you can able to see the resources which are available in that region. If you jump to some other region, you will forget to delete it. In that case, it will become a problem again, right? It will leads to the billing. So make sure follow one particular region. Whenever you practice something, make sure to delete it all the time. Clear? So you're good with the basics now. Okay. So now let's talk about if I wanted to create server in AWS. If I wanted to create, if I wanted to create server in AWS. So I wanted to create server in AWS. So definitely there will be a service available to create a server in AWS. Whenever you wanted to create something, the only thing that you always need to check is, okay, what is the service available to do this or to create this? To create a server in AWS, we have a service called EC2. We have a service called EC2. So the full form of EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. So the full form of this service is Elastic Compute Cloud. We will try to understand the name first before entering into the service. Elastic Compute Cloud. So the meaning of Elastic. What is the meaning of Elastic? It can be stretch. It can be stretch. I mean, either expand or it can become near. The meaning of compute. Compute is nothing but RAM, memory, like CPUs, whatever it is. That's all comes under compute. Cloud. So cloud means end of the day, we were hosting everything on cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud. The reason why they named it as Elastic Compute is, say for example, if I created a server in on premises, can I call it as Elastic Compute? See, compute means it can be stretchable, it can be upgrade or it can be downgrade. If I have my laptop with me, is it easy for me to upgrade and downgrade all the time? Is it that much easy to upgrade and downgrade all the time? No. See, I have 4 GB of my RAM. I wanted to upgrade it. Is it possible? I mean, if the slot is available in my laptop, it may possible. And even it is up to a particular benchmark. More than that, I cannot upgrade it. And if I wanted to downgrade it, is it possible? Again, I have to remove that 8 GB RAM and I have to throw it out and I have to buy the 4 GB RAM. Because if I have two slots, I can maintain 4 GB, 4 GB. If I wanted to downgrade it, this 4 GB RAM will get wasted. If I wanted to increase that, again, this will be get wasted and I have to buy. And if I have the compatibility, there are a lot of challenges with that. Isn't it? Yes or no? So, but to use this EC2 in AWS, to create a server in AWS, we will be using this service and we will be creating an instance. Instance is nothing but server or virtual machine or computer also, because computer is physically with us, virtual machine is not physically with us. That's it. Clear? So if I wanted to create an instance in AWS, nothing new in it. All are common steps. If you went to buy a computer or a laptop to somewhere, whatever the configuration that you check, Whatever the configurations that you check, the same configurations will be here, but it will be steps. Here it will be like options. Whenever you wanted to buy a machine, whenever you wanted to create a virtual machine, the same steps you will be having it here, the steps which you have whenever you want to buy a laptop or a computer. If I wanted to buy a laptop or a computer, what is the step? What is the first option? What is the first option that's supposed to have if I wanted to buy a laptop or a computer? Processor or whatever the CPU, RAM, processor, whatever that we want, we will be having CPU, processor, RAM, whatever you want, you will be having. What are the other step that you will check for? Whatever the other step that you will check for whenever you wanted to buy a computer or a laptop, apart from CPU, RAM, processor, technically, not about a physical size or something. Technically, what else that you might require? Exactly. So you might require operating system. And see, these two steps are main steps: operating system and whatever the CPU, memory, RAM, processor. These are the two steps. Most of your price it also depends on the CPU, RAM, memory, and all. Apart from these two steps, whatever the other step that you might have, apart from these two steps, whatever the other step that you might require, obviously you might require the storage part. Am I right or wrong? These are the three parts that we always need to have whenever I want to buy a computer. And most of my pricing is also depends on these three parts. Whenever you are buying a computer, whenever you have these three steps, even though whenever you are creating a computer in AWS, you might call it as a different name. You might call it as virtual machine. You might call it as instance. It doesn't matter. Technically, the steps are same. Technically, the concept is the same here, but the names might be differ. Understood? The concept is the same. The underlying infrastructure is the same. Only what is the difference? Only what is the difference? The names might differ. Instead of calling it as an operating system, you can still calling it as operating system as well. But the name that you always need to remember is AMI. Okay. The full form of AMI is Amazon Machine Image. So you can ask me a question saying that, sir, what is the difference between operating system and Amazon Machine Image? What is the difference between operating system and Amazon Machine Image? See, both are same. In general, long back, whenever I wanted to install, whenever I wanted to install operating system in my laptop, what is the procedure that we supposed to follow? We supposed to get a disk, inserting the disk, click on next, 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 installing it. It was supposed to take 45 minutes to install our operating system if it is Windows or any other. Later on, the technology got updated. Even for all of our computers, we didn't even have in the disk block to insert. Simply, we are getting the ISO file. We are adding it to the pen drive. We are inserting the pen drive, flashing it, installing it. It means the technology got simplified. Earlier, it's supposed to take 45 minutes, but it is just now taking 15 to 20 minutes. But here, nothing is physical. Everything is virtual. See, if I wanted to have a Windows machine, I will not be having any physical machine here to insert the ISO file, right? Simply, I want to select an options. That's how the technology got improved. So that is what the cloud is. Instead of having everything physical with us, simply virtually we are selecting an options, whatever the option that I want. So here I want an option, Windows operating system, a machine with Windows operating system. So here in AWS, you'll be having a lot of images. If you want Windows operating system, you will be selecting Windows AMI, Amazon machine image. See, image means what? Whenever I click the pic here with my mobile, you all be in my pic, right? Can I say that it is kind of a blueprint? From one image, I can make 100 images. So image is something like a blueprint. If I have one image, I can bring n number of images from that image. Similarly, see, when there is a machine with Windows operating system, okay, they are creating an image from this and they were placing it in our AWS. Now, if I'm selecting this Windows AMI, it is a base image with Windows operating system. If I'm selecting this AMI and if I'm creating an instance, I'm getting a Windows instance. Any confusion? No, right? Image is kind of a blueprint. How many times that you want, you can select it. Clear? So the first step is in AWS, always you will be selecting the operating system. Whatever the operating system that you want, you will be selecting that particular image. You will be selecting that particular image. Hope you are clear with the first step. Because if you want Linux operating system, you'll be selecting the Linux image, Windows image. I mean, Linux Amazon machine image. If you want Ubuntu image, you'll be selecting Ubuntu. I want Windows, I'll be selecting Windows. Second step, RAM, memory, CPUs. So first step, you are selecting AMI to create an instance. Instead of calling it as operating system, we are calling it as AMI. The second step now, as you said, the another important step is selecting the CPU, processor, memory, and all, right? The second step, we call it as instance type. Okay. Here, instead of calling it as RAM, memory, CPU, we will simply call it as instance type. Instance types are categorized into different families. Like we have T family, M family, R family, D family. We have many families. For example, if I take one family and as an example, inside T family, we supposed to have T2 micro, T2 medium, T2 small, T2 large, T2X large. So we have different types. For each and every instance type, there will be a set of configuration. Understood? Memory, CPUs, processor, all comes under in this instance type only. We have different instance types: T family, M family, R family, D family, C family. We have different families. If I talk about T2 micro, inside this T2 micro, they will provide one CPU, 1 GB memory. If it is T2 medium, they will increase the configuration. Two CPUs, 4 GB memory. Like, depends on each and every instance type, they will be increasing the configuration. So simply based on my use case, how much memory or how much RAM that I require. Simply, I will be selecting that particular instance type. Okay, I require two CPUs, 4 GB memory. In which instance type this particular configuration is getting gathered? Simply, I will be selecting that particular instance type. Clear? So that is called instance type. So to just remember, you can remember like T is family name, 2 is generation, micro is size of the instance. T is family name, 2 is the generation, micro is size of the instance. So based on whatever the instance type that I required, I will be selecting that particular instance type. Clear? Are you good with the first step? AMI, operating system. Whichever the AMI that I want, I'll be selecting it. Are you good with the second step? Instance type. How much memory that, how much CPU that I required. Simply, I will be selecting, based on that, I'll be selecting whatever the instance type that I want. Coming to the third point, as long as like operating system and instance type, we might also require the storage also, right? Like local disk C, local disk D, that what we have. Without storage, we can't create a server. We won't have a laptop without a storage. Definitely, we should require storage. So that we'll call it as storage only. But for this storage, we will be having a separate session because storages, we have different types. One type we will be using it for AWS EC2. One type we will be using it for some other use case. For example, the storage which you are using in your laptop is also a storage. Local disk C, local disk D, hard disk. The storage which we are using, Google Drive, is also a storage. Can you replace your laptop's hard disk with Google Drive? We can't, right? Because these two are two different types for two different use cases. Similarly, in AWS, for storage which we are using it in laptop, for that we will be having a one type of storage. For storage which we are using like a Google Drive, for that we will be having a separate service. When we enter in detail about storages, we will get to know which storage type that we were using it for EC2 instance, which storage type we were using it for similar to Google Drive. Okay. But as of now, remember that whenever you create an EC2 instance, the first step, you always have the AMI. The second step, you always have the instance type. The third step, you always have the storage. Are you good? Can you remember? If someone asks you how to create an instance, you should able to explain these three steps. And we have other steps also. We will discuss it now. Okay. And the next one is key pairs. Key pair is kind of a security for our EC2 instance. Whenever we create an instance, that should have some secure authentication, right? Whenever you want to log in into your server, that should have a secure authentication, right? Key pair will use for authentication. Key pair will use for authentication. Once you created an EC2 instance, along with your EC2 instance, you will be creating a key pair as well. And that will be downloading to your laptop. Whenever you want to log in, you will be using this key pair to log in into your machine. Okay. How to create that key pair, how to use it whenever you will be logging in, you will be get to know whenever we do the practical. Okay. But remember, as of now, how many steps that we learned to create an instance? What is the first one? AMI. What is the second one? Instance type. What is the third one? Storage. What is the fourth one? Key pair. So when someone asks you in the mid of the night also, you should be able to spell these 4 steps without any, delay. So AMI, instance type, storage, key pair. You always should remember this. Anyhow, we will be creating the instances n number of times when we are practicing it. Okay. So you will be, anyway, you will be remembered for sure. You will be remembered. But initially, you have to be good at whatever we learned today. At the end of the day, you always should think, okay, I have learned this today. You have to remember that. Okay. And one more step is security group. So our laptop should have security. Don't feel like security in the sense, sir, you already explained the keeper for the security, right? Like whatever the security group. Security group will act as a firewall. Okay. We will be having a separate session on security group. How it will work, how it will act in front of our EC2 instance. How can you modify the security group? You will be having a separate session on the security group. Nothing to worry about it. Okay. You will be understanding it very clearly. No doubt in it. Clear? So you are good at AMI now. You good at instance type. You remember the storage now. You remember the key pair now. And you remember the security group. Okay. So today, what we will do is we will just create a Linux instance and we will see how to log into that Linux instance. Okay. Remember all these steps. Along with that, today I will be explaining or I'll be showing you how to create a Linux instance and how to log into the Linux instance. Okay. Without any confusion, just practice whatever I do it on my laptop. Are you good? So let's go to the practical now. Okay. So let me go to the EC2 instance. So this is the console which I logged in. I think if people are joining from last 2 days, it will be new for you. And people who are joining from last couple of days, like 3 days or 4 days, I think you will be good with seeing at console. See, this is our AWS console. Console means it's not a new word, it's a generic word. For example, if you want to use Gmail, what you will do? You'll create a Google account, you will log in into the Google account, and there it will be showing all the products which are available in the Google, like Gmail, Google Drive, whatever the other products like Google Chart, spreadsheets, whiteboard, classroom. We have a lot of services, right? All those are software as a services. There is a software, you can just go it and you can use it. If you log in into the Flipkart account, you can see all the products which are available in the Flipkart. Isn't it? Am I right or wrong? Similarly, if you log in into the AWS account, you can see all the products, all the services which AWS offers for us. Good. So this is the AWS account. I always told you, right? You make sure you should be in a Mumbai region. Okay. So now if I wanted to create a EC2 instance, for example, if you landed in a different page, here once I logged in, I can able to see the launch instance option. If you landed in a different page, don't get confused. What is the service which I want to explore now? EC2, right? Simply go to the service, just type EC2. You will be getting EC2 service here. If you click this, it will be navigated to that particular place. Okay. So now go to the instances. Click on instances. So there is an option to launch instance, right? As I said, creating of a server or a virtual machine in AWS, we will be calling it as launching an instance. Click on launch instance. We clicked on launch instance. It is asking for name. Name, any name, whatever I want, I'll be giving it. Test. Scroll down. You can see, right, Amazon machine image, which is nothing but OS images. You can see a lot of images available here, right? Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat. We have many things. I'm going with Amazon Linux. Scroll down. It is asking for instance type. If I click on the drop down, see T2 micro, T2 nano is having one CPU, 0.5 GB memory. T2 micro is having one CPU, 1 GB memory. If I scroll down, T2 small is having one CPU, 2 GB memory. So that's how, based on a particular instance type, the configuration will be getting increased. Okay. Mostly always we will go with T2 micro because it is free tier eligible. Select this. Scroll down. There is an option for key pair. Let's create a new key pair because if I have an existing key pair, I can use that. That you will get to know like tomorrow, like how you can use the existing key pair. But today I'm creating a new key pair. I'm naming it as AWS 9. Here two options we have, right? PEM and PPK. Whenever you are going to use Linux instance, you have to go with PPK. Okay. Whenever you're going with Windows, you have to go with PEM. Remember that. Select the PPK, scroll down, create a key pair. I created a key pair. Now, scroll down. Security group, network settings, I'm not touching now. I'll be explaining you whenever I explain about security group. Scroll down. Storage also I'm not touching. Simply, I'm going to click on launch instance. So whenever you create an instance, initially it will be in pending state. It will comes to running state. Okay, we'll wait. It is in running state, right? Whenever you select your instance, in the bottom, you'll get all the details of the instance. Like what is the public IP of the instance, what is the private IP of the instance, everything that you can find it in the bottom. Okay. To log into this Linux instance, you have to open Putty. Putty is a client which helps you to connect to your Linux instance. We have to download and install the Putty. Okay. For that, open a browser. Just type PUTTY Putty download. Just download. Go to the first link. Don't need to go for other links. If you go to the first link, you can find an option called download Putty. Just click on download Putty. So here it is asking for the configurations, right? Mostly nowadays we are using the 64-bit laptops only. Just select the first one. Then a file will be get downloaded into your laptop. Download it. Just give the double click. this, give the double click, and next, install. Nothing, it won't ask you anything. The way how you will install the VLC media players on your laptops. Similarly, next, install. Since I've already installed, I don't want to install it. I'm just closing it. Once after you install, go back to the AWS account, copy the public IP of the instance, open putty, PUTTY. Okay, open it, paste it. Okay, left side under SSH, under authentication, there is an option for credentials. I'm telling you again, once you given the IP address, left side under SSH, under authentication, you have the credentials. Here, browse your PPK file, which you created. Okay, just click on open. Click on open. Click on accept. It is asking for the username, right? For each and every AMI, there will be a default username. I have selected Amazon Linux AMI, right? My default username is EC2-user. If I selected Ubuntu AMI, the default username is Ubuntu. Okay. So just EC2-user, enter. We logged in. Yes or no? We entered into the machine, right? This is how you will be connecting to your Linux machine. For Windows machine, there will be a separate way, another way that I'll teach you tomorrow. Don't get confused. For today, try to create your EC2 instances on your own in your AWS accounts and try to log into it. Am I clear? Any confusion? Am I going speed or moderate, like how you want? If I'm just moving a bit speeder, let me know. At any time, see, I always take whatever the changes that you want, because you have to understand. The end goal is you have to understand. Okay. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, they'll create a Telegram channel. Reach out to me. Sir, like, can you explain this again? Or can you go a little slow? Or can you explain that? Whatever the modifications that you want in my explanation, help me to understand that. Understood? Am I clear? So I'm closing this. Now, once after practice, what is the best practice that always we need to do? Delete the instances. To delete the instance, select the instance. Select the instance, go to the actions or instance state, terminate instance, terminate it. So I can see a message from Aslesha. Yes, tomorrow before doing a Windows instance, we will do the Linux instance once, and then again we will go to the Windows instance. People who get confused, again they can recall it. Okay. Tomorrow, before going to the new topic, we will create a Linux instance once, and then we will go to the Windows instance. Okay, no hurry. We will go it very slow. Okay, so every day I'll give you some time to raise your questions. So my sessions, especially, I don't want to teach the session 1.5 hours, and I don't want to stop your questions. I will try to give you enough time to raise your questions. My only intention is before you going to the lab, if you have at least 15 to 20 minutes here, you can just revise it. If you have any questions, I can explain it and you can resolve it, and then you can practice it in the lab. On top of it, if you get any questions, again you can ask to the lab coordinators or mentors, whoever it is. Clear? So no hurry, nothing. How many times that you want each and every topic, even it is 5 times or 6 times, I'm okay to repeat it. The only point is, whenever I'm explaining a concept repeatedly for 2 times or 3 times, person who already knows it, so they should bear that, because we all should single page. Clear? So let's go with an online questions first, and then I'll come to the offline questions. Okay. Yes, let me tell you how to install the putty again. See, very simple. Just go to the Google browser. Okay. Just type putty download. Just type putty download. Go to the first link. There is an option to download putty here, right? Click on download putty. A file will be get, so just select on the first link. If you select this, there will be a file will get downloaded to your laptop. Just double click it. It won't ask you any details. Next, install. Next, install. That's it. It will get installed. I'm reinstalling it again. It will get installed. That's it. Nothing, no signs in this. Very simple. Are you clear, guys? Are you good? What we learned today? No confusion, right? So now people from online, raise your hand if you have any questions. I'll allow you to talk. So Karna, I allowed you to talk. I think maybe you raised your hand for putty, right? So I explained the putty again. Others, if you have any question, they can raise your hands. So if possible, like if you are clear with today's class, can you please put it in the chat box? Sir, I'm clear, I'm good, or whatever you want. Like, so this is for my satisfaction, guys. The reason why I'm asking for multiple times, because when I explain something that if you understand that, I would have some satisfaction, right? Okay, that whatever that I explained, it reached out to you. That is only the intention that I'm asking it for multiple times. Even if it's a single person is not able to understand that, so I would like to repeat it again. I would like to repeat it again. Clear? So if you're good, just please ping me in the chat box. Like if you have any questions, please raise your hand and ask your question. Okay, Swati, if you face any issue with creating of your AWS account, maybe tomorrow they'll create a Telegram channel. Just post your questions, or you can ping it personally in the Telegram channel as well, wherever you want. You're comfortable, you can just ping me. After creating a username, you forget to copy the password. So Sayed, I didn't get your question on what you're talking, like which user you're talking about. Let me allow you to talk. You can, Sayed, right? I allowed you to talk, Sayed. Please ask your question.
So while creating the Windows instance, I'm practicing the earlier. So when I was creating all the steps, so I faced a problem while creating the username and password.
Can you repeat the question, Sayed? I just on the speaker actually. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. So I was practicing the Windows instances earlier.
Hmm.
So while practicing, I've created the username. So after creating username, I forgot to copy my password in the notepad. So I faced some difficulty how to retyping the password. Later I have overcome that, sir. So how
Which instance it is?
Windows
Linux,
instance?
Windows instance.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So did you downloaded the PEM file?
Yes, sir.
So you can generate the password again. Go to the go select the instance. On top of there is a connect option, right? Click
Okay.
on the connect option. Upload your go to the RDP session. Upload your file. Decrypt the password again. A new password will get generated.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyhow, tomorrow I'll show the Windows instance as well. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Prakash. Just give me 1 minute, Prakash. Prakash, I allowed you to talk.
Yeah, hello sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, Prakash.
Yes, sir. This sir, the AWS account lost in credentials ఇమ్మన్నారు కదండి సార్ అది ఇంకా నాకు సస్పెండెడ్ అనే చూపిస్తుంది అది
యా సో ప్రకాష్ మీకు ఏమైనా ఈమెయిల్ వచ్చిందా మీకు ఏదైనా ప్రూఫ్ సబ్మిట్ చేయమని చెప్పేసి
సార్ అవును వచ్చింది కానీ అది ఒక ఎలా వచ్చిందంటే ఒక బిజినెస్ ఏ బిజినెస్ చేస్తారో దాని తాలూకు స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఇవన్నీ అని అడుగుతున్నారు కానీ నేను చూస్ చేసిన పర్సన్ కదండి సార్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఎందుకు వాళ్ళు
ఓకే
అడుగుతున్నారు.
ఓకే 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 నాకు ఒకసారి ఆ ఈమెయిల్ కూడా ఫార్వర్డ్ చేయరా, నేను రిప్లై ఏం పెట్టాలో చెప్తాను మీకు. ఒకసారి ఆరిఫ్కి ఆ ఈమెయిల్ కూడా ఫార్వర్డ్ చేయండి, ఓకే, మీకు
ఓకే
వచ్చిన
సార్.
ఈమెయిల్. ఓకే,
ఓకే.
యా. So if online guys, if you do not have any questions, I'm just going with on offline. So I'm going on mute guys. If you have any questions, you can stay back, or if you do not have any questions, you can leave.